Got a heat of the Wyfold Challenge Cup.
Attention!
Leeds against Thames Rowing Club. Thames Rowing Club on the right of your screen. So the Wyfold, Cox was 4. So there's no Cox in there this time, so have to steer the boats themselves. Again, we see the crew from Thames on the Buckinghamshire station. They've veered off their station and now trying to get straight, going down the middle of the course.
Quite hesitant start that, actually, and I think you've got to be a little bit hesitant. Warning coming in here for Thames from the umpire, but you've got to be a little bit hesitant when you're in a coxless boat, just to make sure that that power being transmitted into the water in the first couple of strokes doesn't immediately send you off course. So we come back now to the live pictures, and it's looking like quite a tight race in this early heat for the Wyfold Challenge Cup.
Yeah, that's right. Fantastic Henley race coming down here. Need to get an exact picture of where they are on the screen, but I'm saying we're pretty much around Forley where we get this overhead shot. And it is the crew from Thames in the yellow Empacher boat ahead of the crew from Leeds in, I think, the white Stamfleet boat in front of us. But there's a significant overlap, and this one is very much alive.
Well, Thames are striking 36 to Leeds at 34 at the moment. So clearly slightly different race strategies there. It looks as though Leeds are going down the middle of the river here, but I'd expect if they needed to, they could go up a couple of pips on their rating and try to close down that lead. They're about in the middle of the course at the moment.
Well, now is the moment
to
for
see this
Thames.
overlap.
Now is the moment for Thames. They've really made the attack here, I think, that they've realised this is a moment. Leeds have strayed off their station. They don't want to be there. Thames can really try and make the move, try and get that little bit of clear water and try and grab some control of this race. Because I think if this goes on too much longer, it's not going to be in Thames's favour.
Worrying thing is if Leeds do manage to close down that gap and they don't get their steering sorted, they're going to go straight into the back of the Thames Rowing Club boat there and racing in the dirty water that you can see coming off the back of that boat, which is the last thing you want to be doing. You want clean water and a really clean stretch of river to race down in front of you. But I don't think Leeds are going to go just yet. It looks as though they're coming up towards Remenham.
Well, that's right. Well, it's Conor Logan in the 2-seat of the Leeds boat. He's got the rudder attached to his foot, so he has to move that foot from side to side, but you can see there's plenty of race course in front of them. They've now got themselves out of the wash of the Thames crew, and they'll look to see what they can do as Thames look to now stay focused, looking down their boat, trying not to get distracted by what Leeds have done. They've not been distracted at all. They stayed on their station. They did what they needed to. Leeds have made their work harder than they needed to.
This Thames Rowing Club A boat really starting to make their dominance known here. I mean, they've been switching in and out of different boats, trialing a few different technical setups. I mean, they moved from an Empacher, which they're racing in here, into a Hudson for the Marlow Regatta. Didn't get on too well, so they're back in the Empacher now, and they're doing pretty darn well. So they won the Elite Coxless Fours on the Saturday at the Met in the Empacher, and so clearly very attached to that boat. And I think with that comfort, they're really starting to show that they know how to row it.
Yeah, and it's Leeds Rowing Club who in 2015 qualified for the first time for the Wyfold Challenge Cup. So this year they've taken a step on in that they're now here racing on the Thursday, and they've put in a great first two-thirds of the race. Just a shame they've not been able to capitalise when they were right in there with the boat overlapping as they came to Remenham, but now it seems to have drifted out, and Thames have really been able to take that moment. They had the moment and they grasped it.
Well, they're just over a stone a man heavier than the Leeds boat, so some real power and strength in that Thames Rowing Club boat. They're still striking at 36. Leeds haven't really changed gear yet. They're still striking 34, so they're coming up past regatta enclosure, and you'd expect to see this as a real key point in a lot of cruiser race strategies where they start to really build for the finish. So the ratings start to go up, and the challenge then is to keep the length without shortening your stroke in order to get the rating up.
And Thames have been able to take that dominant position now, letting the boat drift towards the middle of the course, and they look like they've got pretty much good control over everything that's going on here. Now, as you say, they want to keep the stroke rate, keep the length, don't need to do anything crazy. Let's see what Leeds have to offer as they come into the last minute or so, coming up towards the finish.
So we still haven't seen Leeds go just yet. I'm just looking at their rating here, and they're still at 33 in fact now, so it almost looks as though they've dropped it slightly. I wonder whether that's the morale in the boat as they come up past the enclosures, and perhaps resignation to the fact that they've got such a large margin to try and close down if they wanted to win this heat for the Wyfold.
Well, Thames now in good control. They've had a tough race, I think Leeds put in the work early, but we see Thames Rowing Club crossing the line there first in this heat. The Wyfold Challenge Cup, they had a Leeds Rowing Club who come across the line now. They've done very well qualifying, very well getting through, racing here on the Thursday. And confirmation there of that win in the Wyfold Challenge Cup for Thames over Leeds.